Good morning, everybody. All right. Our sixth annual, 6 years. I can't believe it. I think many folks in the audience have been here for most, if not all of them. So we're honored to have you here again. There's about 600 people that have registered over a 2-day event. As you all know, they come and go and have meetings and then come back. And we're excited for you all to be here. Some also stay all day, each day, and we're impressed and honored. I'm Evan Nisselson. That's the Twitter for myself and for LDV Capital. Post as many funny photos of me, of others, of each other doing things that you want. The funniest photo wins a surprise. I'll tell that tomorrow at the end of the day. So let's close your eyes for 1 second or 5 seconds. Everybody close your eyes. Okay? I'm trusting you're closed. Okay? Now open them. What do you see aside from me on stage? You see light. All light is obviously visual data. This data is the majority of the data that our brains analyze is visual. It composes of, it could be photos, it could be video, it could be LiDAR, radar, thermal. Visual technologies are businesses that leverage this data. And obviously you all are aware of that. That's what this summit is about. And we're trying to explore as many different types of technologies that analyze different types of data across all business sectors and across all of society. We all know that years ago, actually at this summit, we talked about one camera on a camera phone. And then a couple years later, we talked about 3 or 4 cameras, and everybody thought I was crazy. And soon there's 5, 6, 7 cameras on a camera phone. So there's hundreds of cameras in this room. Our ecosystem and the audience is a mixture of creators, startups, investors, technology executives, media and brand execs, and computer vision scientists and professors. It's the only event that brings together that whole ecosystem, which is really hard to market to everybody to get everybody here, but a lot of fun when the serendipity happens of bringing everybody together. Because a lot of the scientists are looking to people to collaborate with maybe and start a business, or they're looking to license their technology, or maybe get recruited, or invest. There's a lot of investors here looking for the next great startups that are coming around, including us as LDV Capital, and I'll talk about that in a second. We couldn't do this event without our great collaborators, Rebecca from Cakeworks and Serge from Cornell Tech. Rebecca will be on stage, so will Serge tomorrow. And, of course, our partners from Google Cloud, Neuromation, GumGum, Brex, Ezra, Microsoft Venture Fund M12, TouchCast, Movable Inc., and a bunch of other partners, media partners that I'm not going to run through. Everybody in SVA here has been a partner with us for now 5 years now. Wi-Fi access is pretty straightforward. GumGum, 19, and cap sensitive. So, LDV Capital, we invest in people building visual technology businesses with deep domain expertise. Our team couldn't do this without Abby, who's our VP of Operations and makes all of this happen. So real quickly, she might hear you. Round of applause for Abby. Yay! Because seriously, before she joined a couple years ago, I have no idea how I did this on my own every year, plus run a fund. And Jorge will be joining us this summer as an analyst. Our experts, some in the audience, Gail, Luke, Serge, Andrew, Nico, and a bunch of other experts in our network. So we don't do this alone. And one of the things I always say at this event is that there are many people smarter than me and us, and we try to surround ourselves by great people. And we like to add more here all the time, and people evolve and change. So visual technologies, as I mentioned earlier, across all sectors. It's a horizontal thesis for us at LDV Capital, and we're the only venture fund with this thesis. We invest really early, pre-seed or seed, sometimes with people with an idea, a PowerPoint, and a prototype. Here are just a couple examples of some of our companies. And most importantly, we invest early, but the value is also helping those entrepreneurs build businesses and hopefully having top-tier funds follow us and co-invest with us at those early stages. So we've done quite well, and we hopefully will continue doing that. A little bit more about LDV. It's a platform. It's a fund, and then what I did as an entrepreneur for 18 years, built 4 visual technology businesses. One of the things we always did was try to find ways to build a network effect. So a platform so more people help each other, help companies, and hopefully make money while we sleep. The community is our dinner series, and LDV Pong, we're starting to build tools. So let's talk about a couple themes this year, which every year, each day, I'll come up with a couple themes that will be talked about by people that are smarter than me later in the day. Healthcare is a huge part of transition, where it was one of the early adopters with digital imaging, but it's going through a huge evolution, if not revolution. We did a report last summer. Every summer we dig into one sector. 2 years ago, we estimated how many cameras will be in the world by 2022. It'll be 45 billion. And this past summer, we analyzed 9 sectors where technologies will improve healthcare. Those are a bunch of the different sectors down below. You can download those for free on our website, so I won't go into more details on that. One of them, a couple of them I'll highlight. So image-guided surgery is exponentially increasing because of the miniaturization of hardware and the advancements of computer vision and AI. Example here, somebody is remotely leveraging Da Vinci robotics system to do a surgery. Soon that's going to be miles, if not hundreds of miles away or thousands of miles away. Another sector that is going through a huge transition is virtual doctor visits, telemedicine. This is nothing new, but actually it's exponentially growing. And in a couple of years, there's going to be more virtual visits than actually visits that you're going to go to the doctor. And I'm ecstatic about that, because just the other day I was a doctor, and the appointment is always, let's say, 4 o'clock, and I'm there at 6 still waiting to get into that damn doctor. That's dysfunctional, and I'd rather just send a photo of myself and have somebody analyze it, or a video conference like this is the present, if not near future, of where telemedicine is going. And what's interesting is not only that there's video and heart rate and different signals here, but think of the camera. There's going to be many more types of cameras that will be able to analyze us every day, every second of the day. Yeah, some people say that's creepy, but I actually think it's great if it can help me understand when I'm getting sick before I'm sick. Medicine is reactive, most all of it. Right? Why not be proactive? And we're going to hear a couple more companies talk about that. Personalization, like smart clothing. Psionic's going to give a presentation later today, which is fascinating. Precision bionics. Why can't we wear clothing that has sensors and can be adaptive and help us walk, or help the millions of people that need crutches and walkers that haven't been improved in 100 years? Fascinating new technologies. Or in the radiologist sector, early cancer detection using computer vision and AI. We've talked about this a lot here. There's new companies that are actually going direct to consumer. This may or may not be my prostate. And I fortunately don't have cancer. But the good thing is that I was able to go to get screened in advance, and then a 3D model to say, hey, why don't we go every year to screen ourselves rather than waiting for that bad news that it's already too late? It really doesn't make any sense, but imaging is going to help that and hopefully build big businesses, and more importantly, improve society. Nanophotonics. So this is a thing that's even technically more advanced than I'm savvy enough, but as a macro business opportunity, it's tremendous. Nanophotonics is the study of behavior of light on the nanoscale. It's a branch of optics, engineering, electrical engineering, and nanotechnology. For perspective, it's about 100,000 nanometers thick is a piece of paper. So we're talking microscopic opportunities. And this not only has opportunities across all spectrums, which is, once again, a perspective of visual technologies across all sectors, we're going deep. Not only did I fortunately get to go into the labs and talk to the engineers that are building stuff, but think of LiDAR, for example. Right now it's on autonomous vehicles, but soon it's going to be in everybody's phone in order to capture 3D. Soon it's going to be on glasses. In order to do that, you've got to be very microscopic. This is the LiDAR sector, and we're going to learn more from Voyant Technologies and from GM. So definitely different perspectives. An early company and a bigger company that acquired a company called Strobe, which we'll hear from Julie. That's going to be the size of future LiDAR, and that's an actual prototype. Look at the silicon photonics market. This is exponentially growing, and what I like on the top part, the orange, is other applications other than data centers. So obviously a lot of this we might not see, and a lot of the most valuable companies in the world are companies that we don't interact with directly. It's the mechanics behind. Synthetic media is another big subject. We talked about this last year, and it's disrupting businesses. So let's take a step back and say, what is synthetic media for those that don't know? Real data could be photos or video. We know what that is. Synthetic data is computer-generated data that mimics real data. So we talked last year about how synthetic data will help train models for computer vision and AI. This year is going to be more about other businesses, media production, commerce, and much more. So for example, this is a generated synthetic image that's helping train for e-commerce stores we spoke last year. This is training objects in the pharmacy to track inventory. Or training a robot from OpenAI from synthetic data, so fake images or not real images, that's training this robot to understand what it should do and how to do it. That's pretty unique because sometimes it's very hard to find real data to train models. So the disruption is huge. Here's a new company we invested in recently called Synthesia.
Hello, and welcome to the 6th Annual LDV Vision Summit 2019.
我的名字是 Evan， 我是 LDV Capital 的普通合伙人。
La LDV Capital investim in dezvoltarea tehnologiilor vizuale.
Toto video je vytvorené umelou inteligenciou, ktorú vytvorila naša portfóliová spoločnosť Synthesia.
We zijn enthousiast over de potentie van hun technologie om videoproductie te transformeren en het gebruik van internationalisatie en personalisatie van video wereldwijd te verhogen.
So that's just the start, and this is how they're doing it. They're building a 3D model of my face and superimposing and changing my facial expressions graphically in order to speak different languages. But that's just the start. Think of the full face, the full body, and full synthetic media scenes. Animators have done this for a long time, but the ability to do this and scale exponentially, you no longer have to have many different actors replicating a video for 100 different countries for one product from P&G. Or AI Reverie is going to speak later. They're using synthetic data to help understand toxic weeds and train without actually having images. This wasn't possible even a couple years ago. Or Forma is going to actually speak next. Benjamin is going to talk about how it's going to be a part of the e-commerce world. Now let's talk a little bit about logistics, and that's the last topic today. Factory to front door. Visual tech is really going to transformize the logistics world. So obviously historic animation to somebody watching an assembly line. Anywhere that somebody is watching something in a logistics in a factory can be replicated with computer vision and a camera. That doesn't mean we want to replace all jobs. People will be trained to do other jobs. But everywhere there's a camera, and even where there's not cameras, is going to be opportunity for visual technologies. This robot could not do its job or its future job without vision. Likewise, look at all the robots moving around, moving objects or packages for shipping. This is quite an automated facility. And yes, it exists now, but think about more cameras that are going to understand the health, as we said earlier, or the efficiency of people working in factories. Or shipping. There's no human driving these cars. Or a self-driving truck. Or Amazon drones. They can't operate without vision. Okay, might be simple vision now, but it's going to get more and more complex and more valuable. FedEx. Once again, this little guy can't get where it's going without vision. And this one, I'm sure some people have seen some of these videos. So the UPS driver is having a little fun with one of the door cams, which have been bought by Amazon and others. And this is just great. Life will change. Some will be more efficient, and then some will be more entertaining. And we got to take a little bit of both in everyday life. But why do we care? Because I said earlier, 90% of the data that our brains analyze is visual. It's all about improving human communication. It's the core. I'm biased, but if the majority of the data that our brains analyze is visual, AI will not succeed without vision. More cameras is not the goal. It's about communicating, hopefully improving business and our world. I always say add this every year, and it keeps on growing. Things that I've kind of said that might happen, the ones in green have happened. The goal is not to be right. The goal is to try to help entrepreneurs at the right time build great businesses that become very valuable and hopefully improve our lives. And we're keeping track of what we've said over the years. It's all about love the living of life. It's just the beginning. Make the most out of every single day. And since, as I said, I don't have all the answers, we're going to go to the next speaker, who is, before I do that, thank you very much. And